Hi EGP learners, and welcome to another episode of the EGP Learning Tip Thursday. On this episode, I'm going to cover Headspace, the mindfulness and meditation app that I've used both personally and also I do actually recommend to my patients for use, and we'll cover why and how I do that in the full video that you can look at after this. It's on offer at the moment, which is the reason why I want to cover it now, because I have covered this previously as part of the EGP Learning Pod Blast, and feel free to have a look at that episode as well. Anyway, I hope you guys find it useful. As always, feel free to comment and tell me what you think. I'm really keen to hear what you do think, and make sure you do subscribe and ring the bell to watch us on YouTube or on our Facebook page. As always guys, comment, share, keep EGP learning. See you later, bye. Hi EGP learners, and welcome to another episode of the EGP Learning Tip Thursday. On this episode, we're going to have a look at the Headspace app. This is an app you may have heard of in the past, and in actual fact we've covered this on a previous episode of the EGP Learning Pod Blast, so feel free to have a listen to that if you want. However, I thought it'd be a good time for an update. Headspace is an app that I use on and off throughout the year, and I find it really effective at helping with how I've been feeling. It's basically an app that was created to try and help with mindfulness and meditation, but actually has a few health applications if you wanted to use it for that reason. So let's have a look at the app, shall we? So as you can see, it's this little icon here that looks like a round orange. And by clicking on it, we open up the app itself. It's free to download and available on all of the various different platforms, for example, Android, or iPhone, example. And when you open it, it brings you into this kind of, interesting little interface. Very simple kind of diagrams and stuff. And the animations are one of the key things that I really enjoy about this app itself. There's various different modules that you can use, and a few of these are free. However, they do sit behind a paywall, so there is a subscription model with this app, as you can imagine. Anyway, we're just going to have a little look at some of the basic stuff. So if we're going to begin, so it started me off with the sleep one. And as you can see, it talks to you about using the sleep, and just tapping on the screen takes me through the little lead through what we can focus on. Looking at resting awareness, which is something it talks about quite often. And, where you try not to focus on various different things, and that it's not easy to do, and then it takes you to session 1. Now the various different sessions, you can change the time for what you may need. As you can see, for this particular one it's 10, 15 or 20 minutes, and then it'll download it, and this normally doesn't take very long and you can play it from there. I'm not going to play the actual modules, partly because I don't think I can, but also it'd take a lot longer to go through it if we did. There is starter modules that show you how to go through the whole meditation and mindfulness process, which I can't show you because I've already done them, I believe. I know, here we are, the basic ones, as you can see here. So these are shorter modules that can either be 3, 10, 15 minutes, for example, and also some technique modules that are very short, as you can see, under a minute on this particular one. And these are quite handy to giving you the methods of how to actually do meditation and mindfulness. Sitting behind the paywall are some more valuable kind of sessions. So if you go to the Finder session, you can see various different featured ones. However, you click at the top, you can see it's got various different categories. So for example, stress and anxiety, falling asleep and waking up, personal growth, work and productivity, useful for the GP that may be struggling with burnout, for example. Quite a few of these modules look at things like focusing on challenges, dealing with excess work, that kind of stuff. Life challenges, movement and sport, physical health, which is one I find quite useful actually. So I've mentioned this one to a few patients in the past, and we'll come to this in more detail. But for example, modules like how to deal with pain, how to deal with chronic pain, how to deal with feeling under the weather, calming your nerves, that kind of stuff. Really helpful kind of things. And as we said, various other categories, day-to-day exercises, and there are separate sections for students and for children. And these are categorized by the age groups as well, so 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12. And these are useful for those particular age groups. I have found these quite helpful on occasion to use for my son, for example, try and help him settle down in the evening, help him wind down, that kind of stuff. And they are designed for use by these kind of groups. As you can see, lots of different modules, and a lot of these do sit behind a subscription paywall, which, if I'm being honest, is not too bad. So in total, it costs either £9.99 a month, or you can pay on an annual basis, which works out at £6 something, so a total of £72 for the year. And you can also, at the moment, obtain a cheaper subscription rate, which is 40% off, so it works out about £44 a year. You can access it through different models, so Anxiety UK, which is a group that offers Headspace subscription as part of its subscription, and there's a link to this in the show notes and stuff. Another thing I did want to show is that this can link with various other things, so you can set notifications to give you reminders to engage with the app if you want to, or if you don't. You can also set for mindful moments, so times that you want to have those kind of things. You can also have access to the obstacle session, and this I thought was quite a smart little thing. It's a little repository of resources to help you tackle common obstacles you may have, either when you're starting to use the app or for other kind of things like pains, cramps, that kind of stuff. Really short little videos, free as well, various different categories, and helpful to use and that kind of thing. You can also link the app with various other systems like Google Fit or Apple Health or that kind of stuff. I'm using an Android device, which is why I was mentioning Google Fit on mine. I think the app works really well. I love the animations that you can see on here, and you can link up with other people if you want to. However, the actual social aspects of the app are not as diverse as other kind of things. So, for example, if you're used to using running apps, which allow you to compete with other people, it doesn't seem to have that kind of functionality as such. But as I said, really good app, really simple to use. This is one of its key features, I think. You literally just need to switch the app on, set the time length that you want, for example, 3 to 10 minutes on these particular ones, headphones on or just speaker on if you're alone, and listen and do what it says. And it's really not that hard. And I find, particularly for myself, it's effective. So, sleep issues is a common problem that many of us face. Stress at times, and just having the opportunity for a little bit of mindfulness can be useful. But also, using this for patients. I work in an inner city area where access to mental health resources can be quite challenging at times, particularly timely access. And whilst I wouldn't suggest that this is a replacement for formal counselling or anything along those lines, I do find it a useful tool to use as an adjunct to treatment to helping patients. For example, getting them ready for things like CBT treatments, because if they can do this, then it's a good starter for helping them to engage in more complicated psychological therapies and that kind of stuff. It's also got some really cool kind of modules as well that can be quite applicable for patients. So particular ones I like to mention are for dealing with anger and frustration, which are common things that don't really fit into nice little categories. Fear of flying. There is an actual module on here to help patients who may have fear of flying. This is a common issue that many clinicians may face. They don't quite know how to signpost patients to resources, although there are lots out there if you actually want to have a look. Overall, like I said, I find this a really good and useful app, and I would recommend using it if you wanted to, either for yourself or for your patients. Feel free to read the blog article for more details. And you know what, guys, if you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe and also like the video if you've enjoyed watching this. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me if you think I've made some good things, not so good things, if I've missed something that you think would be worth mentioning and stuff. I'm always keen to hear from you guys as much as possible to see what we can do further for you. Anyway, guys, as always, if you want to contact me, feel free to do so at EGP Learning or at Dr. Gandalf52 on Twitter, Facebook, and all the other platforms. And I hope you found this video useful. As always, guys, comment, share, keep EGP Learning. See you later. Bye.